Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be doing my episode review for the latest episode of AMC's The Walking Dead, which debuted earlier tonight. Just finished watching it a few minutes ago. We got a lot to talk about. Now, before I start talking too much and I start gushing, going on and on and on about it, please be warned that this video review will be full of big spoilers regarding tonight's episode, especially since this is the second to last one, setting us up for next week's episode, which will be the season 7 finale, which looks wowza. So be warned, I'm going to start talking about spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now we're into spoiler territory. So you have been warned. That being said, good episode, very good. This was a very what's the word I'm looking for? Not, it was tense, and most episodes are usually tense, but this was a very up in the air episode. I would call it an up in the air episode because it felt like while watching it, it felt like anything could have happened. It felt like Eugene could have been standing in the doorway to stop David from raping Sasha. Instead, it was Negan. It felt like Negan could have killed Sasha right there in that room at any moment. Like he was just leading her on, and then surprise, knife to the face or to the chest or some shit. It felt like Tara could have died at any moment in that tense standoff between our group and the Oceansiders. It felt like Michonne could have taken a shot at Nantanya, and instead of hitting her, hit Cindy, which totally would have backfired and ruined everything. It had been a gigantic what the fuck moment. But it didn't. There are a lot of things that could have ended out a certain way, and they didn't. And I dug that. I really dug that. I thought Sasha was going to bite it this episode, or I thought someone's going to die, and someone did die, but it was not Sasha, not yet, at least. It was creepy, the savior, which we are now going to dub Rapey Davey, as Negan put it. Okay, I know rape is not funny, but that was kind of a funny nickname, and he got what he deserved because that guy was a creep. I mean, way back earlier in the season, where he was being uber creepy towards Enid when he was like toying with her, like getting really close to her and holding her balloons, like, I want you to beg for them, little girl. I want you to beg for them. I was like, and he was being super creepy with Sasha. And at first, because he left the door open, I thought, oh, somebody's going to stop by, probably Eugene, and tell him to bugger off. And Eugene won't be a tough guy, but he'll threaten to tell Negan if David doesn't leave her alone. But instead, the man himself showed up. And we saw just how much Negan cared about David, which was interesting because in that same episode where David was being creepy, we saw Carl holding him at gunpoint, threatening to shoot him if they take all their meds, and Negan intervening, saying, I can't have it. You can't be aiming guns at me or at David here. He got between Carl and David so that Carl wouldn't shoot him. And in this episode, he gets a knife in the neck. Negan stabs him right in the neck, and it was a great moment. I'm like, damn, that was a hell of a death scene, and it couldn't have happened to anybody more deserving. And obviously, Negan acknowledged that this guy was a creep, a bit of a perv, and obviously rape is a big no-no for Negan. So Negan may be a sadistic evil monster, but he's a monster with a weird set of codes or rules for himself and for his followers. So if something he feels is too extreme, then you certainly can't do it, and obviously rape being one of them. But let's not make a savior out of Negan, no pun intended, right away because he stopped David from raping Sasha. This episode had so many moments to it, but then later when you afterwards you're thinking about like, oh, that makes sense, because when he said a little bird told me Rick and his company have been up to no good, I'm like, little bird, Well, it could have been Eugene. Eugene's been with him the whole time, and Eugene was not present when they decided to take up arms against the Saviors. Sasha sure as shit didn't say anything. So who would have? And then I remembered, that scene with Gregory telling one of the Hilltop people they were going for a drive, and he pulled out that map, and probably with the location Simon had written down where to meet him if he ever needed anything. So it's possible that Gregory has already informed Simon, and therefore Simon has informed Negan about what Alexandria and these other communities are up to. Obviously, we'll find out next week's season finale, which looks extremely promising. And then what I also really liked about this episode is that, killing zombies is such a unifying factor. It works so well on this show and in zombie movies in general when you're having a tense standoff between survivor groups and nobody really wants to make the hostile move or pull the trigger, and then zombies show up and ironically save the day by forcing everybody to fight together, and then they don't fight each other afterwards. That was an awesome scene, watching the Alexandrians and the Oceansiders kill the zombies hand in hand. And again, it was also kind of a big stress relief because, the standoff is over. Nobody died. Zombies are dying, but none of our characters died. Because for a while there, I thought, what if Michonne accidentally hits Tara when she's trying to hit Natanya? Or what if she hits Cindy, causing a massive shootout or something? But fortunately, nobody died, and they got all of the guns. Although I did feel kind of bad for the Oceansiders, now that they're all completely defenseless. But because they're all so well hidden, and they've got knives and hopefully a few spears or clubs or something, they should be okay. At least the Saviors don't know they're there, at least not yet. But they'll hopefully they'll be okay without their guns for a while if our group wins, and hopefully they will. Oh, what I also liked about this episode is that I think the experience of dealing with Negan and the Saviors for so long has made our group more insensitive about doing this kind of shit, because one way or another they were absolutely determined to get those guns one way or another. They were either going to scare everybody off and take the guns, or they were going to take the guns willingly from the Oceansiders. Either way, they were to get their hands on those weapons. And I think it was much easier for Rick and company to do this because they've all been kind of, like I said, desensitized to the experience of dealing with Negan and the Saviors, that it's easier for them to, unfortunately, take shit or steal shit from others. I mean, yeah, they don't like doing it, but it's really a necessary evil to fight a very, very much more sinister evil, because nobody felt good about taking the guns from these women and children and leaving them defenseless, but they know it was for the right reasons in the long run. But I think, like I said, dealing with the Saviors has helped them made this a lot easier for them to do. They probably still felt bad about it, but because they've been bullied and pushed around by the Saviors for so long, it was easier to take weapons from somebody else for once. But I doubt they're going to make a habit of it. And then that final scene, one of the highlights of the episode, is they get back to Alexandria. Rosita's there. And they ask about Sasha, and then the second she said, "There's someone here," I went, I actually kind of gulped out loud. I was like, because I'm like, oh, I know who this could be. And sure enough, it was, lo and behold, Dwight, Negan's right-hand man himself. And I think this is setting us up for what is going to be a big turning point in the series, and which is going to help them hopefully kick Negan's ass in the season finale next Sunday. Now, before I wrap up here, I just want to throw out a few predictions. Hopefully, we're going to see some losses, some casualties on the Savior side. We're probably going to lose one or two more big characters, probably Sasha, because she's been cast in the Star Trek reboot, Star Trek Discovery, as a main character. If not her, if she doesn't die in next episode, she'll die early on in season 8, possibly. And because she's been so topsy-turvy, whether you love her or you hate her, I see Carol as another possibility. Also, Morgan is another possibility, but maybe not. Maybe they'll keep them alive just a little bit longer. And what I also predict seeing is that I do not believe they are going to kill Negan. So those of you who are getting your hopes about, ooh, they're going to kill Negan, do not get your hopes up, because he's yeah, he's evil and he's a nasty asshole, but he's such a great character that if they are going to kill him, it's not going to be until next season. It won't be till the season 8 finale or maybe next year's mid-season finale if they do kill him. But I do think they're going to seriously wound him and take him captive or do something to him to physically hurt him, but I do not believe they will kill him. Maybe they'll try to kill him, fail, and then take him alive. But I do not think they're going to kill him in next week's episode. I find it highly, highly, highly unlikely. What I am also hoping and dying to see is, because we saw a brief glimpse of her out in the open on a chain with Ezekiel, is we're going to see Shiva kick some ass. She's either going to kill some walkers or kill some saviors. Either way, make that tiger do something. I've been waiting for her to do something since we met her in the second episode. Please. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for another episode review here on the EdWord. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more review videos like this one. And don't forget to tune in next Sunday for AMC for the Season 7 finale of The Walking Dead. And, of course, subscribe to this channel for my big episode review and season finale reaction as well. I have a feeling it's going to be a big one. And unlike last year's finale, where it made us feel dreadful and scared of what was going on, I think there's going to be a much more different, possibly positive vibe in this episode. So we'll see. All right, guys, thanks again for stopping by. Have a great rest of the night. I hope you get off to a good start tomorrow with the new week. And of course, until next time, as always, may the force be with you.